Disclaimer: I do not own the clips or music shown. These are used for review and entertainment purposes. Thank you. Greetings, Godpads and Godpads. It's me, Camden, on channel Camden. I'm not going to talk about a specific movie in this video as usual. I'm going to instead talk about a certain topic that kind of drives Hollywood today and kind of has driven Hollywood for years. And drives a lot of franchises in whatever it's movies or games or TV. And it's also been kind of something that's been a trend on this channel. And I have talked a bit about this in this video that no one has watched. Well, we all know that fan bases can be very passionate about the things they love. And sometimes a little too passionate. And you know that, especially with big franchises, fan bases will grow bigger and bigger, and it will go from generation to generation. And sometimes those fans will get the opportunity to work on the thing that they love. And that's probably the thing of why popular franchises exist today, like Marvel or DC, is that as the fan base grows larger, some fans, they also get into the business and work on things as well. Sometimes you can get something that fans didn't even ask for, but they'll be satisfied with anyway, and they'll go really crazy over. Well, for example, oh look, it's that guy, and he's playing the character he played like 50 years ago. Wow, isn't that great? It cannot be a legacy sequel, which brings us to a big part of the video today, is that a lot of major blockbusters really tend to use the multiverse. And you know what I'm talking about if you've seen pretty much any recent superhero movie, like say Spider-Man No Way Home, The Flash, or Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, or Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And the multiverse, with our characters crossing to other dimensions and timelines, we get to see other versions of that character, whether made up or versions of characters that we saw before. And seeing those characters can give us a lot of childhood memories. But sometimes we wonder, is it a good thing or a bad thing that they tend to do this a lot as of late? Way back in 2009. Back in 2009, there was a TV movie titled Turtles Forever that was celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it spun off from the Turtles show at the time that came out in 2003. And how did they celebrate the 25th anniversary, you may ask? Why, they brought back the OG Turtles from the original 1987 cartoon. And they did not get their original voice actors for this one because of union stuff or whatever. But it was still a crazy thing at the time. And old fans went crazy over seeing these turtles again, and newer fans were really interested, and that got them to watch the original cartoon. And not only that, they also have the original turtles from the Mirage comic. It made people go even more crazy because it was something that they did not expect to happen. It was something that was really smart, and fans love this movie to this day for it being a celebration of the Turtles anniversary and being a massive love letter to the franchise. The only times the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have done something like this. The Turtles series from 2012 has also did this, where they met the OG Turtles. Time they actually got the original voice actors. But, again, they weren't the only ones that had this concept. There was multiple media that had things such as the multiverse and time travel and alternate timelines and different versions of our protagonist. But the Turtles has definitely had an effect on stuff like this in media. And I think a great example of this today is Spider-Man No Way Home. Marvel in general, as in the past few years, has I think a lot of y'all remember when WandaVision came out and Evan Peters as Pietro, and everyone thought that was actually the Quicksilver from the X-Men movies, and they made a bunch of theories, and then it turned out he wasn't. And with Spider-Man No Way Home, this was different. As when we watched this trailer, and then a certain doctor showed up at the end of the trailer.
Hello, Peter.
And as more and more we got to see of this movie, the more we got to see that versions of certain Spider-Man characters like Doc Ock, Green Goblin, or Electro, that they're coming back. And more we start to think that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man could possibly be in the movie as well. So it was kind of obvious that they were going to show up. And then the movie came out and everyone was super hyped. And that's why it's like the highest grossing Spider-Man movie as of right now. So, of course, let's talk about our two Spider-Men that showed up in the movie. And you know, this scene, the whole world went wild when seeing Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker again. And it was crazy. And of course, you got to see Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man again as well. And here, it's really cool to see them, but it's kind of funny at times. Like, it feels weird seeing like a pause when they show up. It's like, hey, audience, clap for us, we're here. And here, I gotta say, in my opinion, they're used pretty well in this movie. Not just them, but the villains as well. They didn't feel like just random obstacles that Tom Holland's Spider-Man had to face. Because, like, could you imagine if, like, Green Goblin just showed up and went, "Beach Spider-Man!" Like, left, like, in the rest of the movie. Peter truly wanted to cure the villains, and it kind of had an effect on their arc. And old Thomas's Peter, when he tries to have it all and tries to save everyone, he can't save the very person that was closest to him. And in that sorrow and sadness, Tobey and Andrew's Spideys had to help him to get out of that darkness and help him to bring hope into being Spider-Man again. I just love that the first interaction between the Peters aren't just them being like, oh my gosh, you're like me, you're literally me. It's them talking to each other about the people that they lost in the past and all the obstacles that they had to get through as being Spider-Man. And it's still cool seeing them interact in some scenes, though. Them talking about their differences in each worlds. And see how, while they're the same character, they're still different versions. And if we want to talk about Andrew Garfield's Peter, you can see that Gwen Stacy's death from The Amazing Spider-Man 2 had an effect on him. It changed him. It made him a darker, more sadder person. And Tobey's Peter Parker, if you noticed, it's been a long time since Spider-Man 3. And you see that since then, Tobey's Peter has matured since then. It's like he fully figured out being Spider-Man. It's like he just balanced it all. Scene where him and Andrew talking to each other, he mentions that he figured things out with MJ. And he's wiser. He's giving advice to the other Spider guys. And it's like, it truly feels like he's been Spider-Man for a long time, and not just, hey, it's me, it's Tobey, man, pizza time, I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. There, I said my iconic lines, there you go. Here, it seems like an actual character, not an object of nostalgia. Talking about the deep themes of the movie. It's still fun seeing the three of them interact and talk to each other. And it's fun seeing them swing around and repeat some lines that they said in the previous movies. It's said naturally. It doesn't feel odd. Just see a scene with them just randomly dancing at the end of the movie. Just like a scene where Tobey just simply says, "Oh, my back. Being a callback to Spider-Man 2. Also noticing that, you know, him swinging around just kind of hurts his back at times. And the fact that he's the oldest Spider-Man. And of course, with the next Marvel movie, people were theorizing about who would show up in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Another Marvel movie about the multiverse. Like, people were straight up saying that Ben Affleck's Daredevil and Jennifer Garner's Elektra and Eric Bana's Hulk were gonna be in the movie. Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider and Tom Cruise Iron Man. What? And none of those cameos I just named were in the movie. I mean, there was Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, but we know what happened to him in that movie. The same version as the Charles we know. It was like a different variant. And also, a lot of people really wanted Jim from The Office to be Reed Richards, and we know what happened with that. And there goes the fan cast now, unless Marvel decides to have him as Reed in their main Marvel universe. And that brings us to everything in the past few years. That's what a lot of superhero media that came out lately. People have been talking about the multiverse and who's gonna play who again. And hey, look at that! There's Hugh Jackman. He's Wolverine again, and he's finally wearing the suit from the comics. And no, I'm not joking. Finally, he's finally wearing that. And also, with all these cameos and stuff, I'm reminded that I basically did the same thing. One of my videos earlier this year, with Paper Camden, a character I'm sure most of my viewers don't remember up until recently.
Hey, it's me! I'm back!
Oh my gosh, it's Justin Chatwin as Giku from the hit film Dragon Ball Evolution. Oh my gosh, I mean, that movie was terrible, but I'm glad to see him here. Wow! Another example I like to use is back in 2011 with Sonic Generations coming out, and Classic Sonic has returned, and Green Hill Zone is back. Classic Sonic is in Sonic Forces because the other one, it was Sonic's anniversary. Here he's just there. Well, oh wait, we have Chaos in the game. I can't wait to play the boss battle with him. And
whoa, Chaos! Sonic, help me!
So many things wrong with that cutscene. I don't know where to begin. That's an example of what I like to call not a very good way of showing fan service, because what's the point of having chaos in your game? Not even a boss battle. It's just in a cutscene. Alright, now you have all of the Sonic Adventure fans that really want Sonic Adventure 3 to happen disappointed. I'm one of those fans. I think that's the thing. I mean, showing things to fans should be earned, not just thrown in your face because, hey, you know this guy, right? You know this guy, he's returned. You know this guy, right? Right? Me to this point. The Flash movie that came out earlier this year. This is truly a movie that exists, and a big marketing tactic they used was, oh my gosh, it's Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is back as Batman. Isn't that crazy? Wow, Michael Keaton is Batman. Which is really weird. He has no business in the first live-action Flash movie. And before y'all say, oh wait, we're adapting Flashpoint, it's a storyline from the comics. Well, yeah, but it shouldn't be a storyline you should adapt in the first live action, big screen, Flash movie. That's like adapting Civil War in the first Captain America movie, or World War Hulk in the first Hulk movie. And they didn't even use Thomas Wayne, who was the actual Batman from that storyline. They decided to use Michael Keaton because you know that guy. All the things he does in the movie. He's there to die. He's there to die. He's there to. He just dies. And the thing that got much worse is this scene when they were showing all the different DC universes, with stuff like Christopher Reeve's Superman, Helen Slater's Supergirl, and George Reeves' Superman, and Adam West's Batman, which is really one of the worst decisions I have seen a superhero movie make in a long time. Like, what? And there's also Nicolas Cage's Superman. Like, who? Because if you didn't know, there was supposed to be like a Superman movie back in the late 90s. And good old Nicolas Cage was supposed to be Superman in the movie, but the movie got canceled. You know? Like, will that get a cheer moment out of the audience? I mean, out of the people that know about the canceled movie, I mean, they sure might get a chuckle, and that's it. But I'm sure the general audience will be like, yo, is that Nicolas Cage? It's also, with the other cameos I mentioned, it's really disrespectful, because Christopher Reeves is not alive. Therefore, you cannot consent him to be in the movie. You are reviving a dead man with CGI technology just for nerds in the audience to go, oh my god, it's that guy I know, ain't that crazy? The thing is, fan service or pleasing fans should be used in something that's made with passion and effort, not something that's just manufactured and just for something to point at and be like, oh, I know that thing, I know that. Like, it should feel earned. Like I said earlier in the video, like I said with Spider-Man No Way Home, that felt earned. Tom Holland's Spider-Man still had a arc in that movie, and the characters that were in the movie, that I wouldn't even call cameos, they were supporting characters. Jamie Foxx's Electro, and William Dafoe's Green Goblin, and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and all those others, they propelled Tom's arc, and it had a massive effect on him by the end of the movie, and it will continue to have an effect on him as we see him again later on in the MCU. Not just a look, Topher Grace's Venom, he's here. Say bye-bye, man. He's gone. And that's the thing that brings us to today, is that people on the internet talk a lot about things from the past, and even, I mean, nostalgia is a big thing in culture. I mean, these properties I just talked about have been things for years. Spider-Man, The Flash, Sonic the Hedgehog, they've been around for a very long time. Nostalgia is going to have an effect on them forever. It's going to have an effect on us forever. I got introduced to Sonic by Sonic X. I feel nostalgic for Sonic X. If I ever make it at Sega someday, if I do, I'm gonna reference Sonic X in some sort of way. If Marvel hires me to work on something Spider-Man related, I'm gonna reference the Raimi trilogy or the Spectacular Spider-Man or some.
Hi, this is Rando Fanboy 380, and I just recently saw Tomato Man 5, and I gotta say, I was really amazed when I saw Shia LaBeouf return as Tomato Man. I gotta say, even though the movie was not worth it, it has horrible CGI, horrible acting, horrible everything. Even the director was horrible. He's racist, and he was grooming a 13-year-old. But it was all worth it for Shia LaBeouf to be Tomato Man. Hopefully, Shia LaBeouf does not have a controversial news. Mom, I'm trying to do a TikTok video. Why is my cat meowing in the back?
That's the lesson that we can all learn today. Is that nostalgia was, is, and will always have an impact on us. It has an impact on media and have an impact on just everyone. Literally anything we can do, any move we can make, it can make us feel nostalgic. Nostalgia or things from our past will come back to us. In a good way or in a bad way, whether we like it or not. And that's just been a thing for a long time, and I don't think that's something that'll go away anytime soon. Shoot, as of right now, people might feel nostalgic for this video, for the movies I've been talking about. Like, people may look back at these and be like, that was a time. Like, or some of these movies people will feel nostalgic for in the future and will probably get to work at Marvel or DC or anywhere like that, and they can make something out of inspiration for what they saw. But they also gotta know that whenever they make something, it's still gotta be something passionate. It's still gotta be something new out of it. It can't just be a product. It can't be an object just floating somewhere that just reminds you of something you used to know, but something that'll make you feel nostalgic, but also be comforting at the same time. It can have a bit of a new flavor into it.
Hello, Camden. It is I. I have returned.
Oh my gosh, it's Pencil Guy from that video. Wow. Oh my goodness! That only came out like a month ago. But still, I feel massively nostalgic for Pencil Guy. Anyways, guys, I hope you like, comment, not a mean comment, and subscribe. I'm about to hang out with Pencil Guy and Cars review next week. Whee!